The room was filled with balloons, a towering cake, and the quietest silence money could buy. It was her birthday, yet the candles flickered for no one. Before this story ends, you'll understand why one small moment of kindness can change a life forever, so stay with me till the very last second. And if stories like this touch your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because sometimes one story can change how we see the world. Elena was turning 12 that day, the only daughter of a self-made millionaire whose name appeared regularly in business magazines. Her house was a glass and marble mansion perched on a hill, overlooking a city that never slept. Inside, everything was perfect, too perfect. The floors shined, the chandeliers sparkled, and the staff moved quietly, carefully. Yet Elena sat alone at the long dining table, her small hands folded, her eyes fixed on the cake. She couldn't hear the ticking clock on the wall, but she felt time passing in her chest like a slow ache. Elena was deaf since birth. Doctors had explained it gently when she was a baby, but life never became gentle because of it. Her father, Victor Hale, loved her deeply in his own way, but love was something he expressed through protection and provision, not presents. He bought her the best tutors, the most advanced technology, and gifts that could fill entire rooms. But he never learned sign language properly. He told himself he was too busy, that he would learn soon. Soon kept getting delayed by meetings, flights, and deals worth millions. On her birthday, Victor was supposed to come home early. He had promised. Elena believed him because children always believe promises, especially from parents. She wore a soft blue dress her nanny had helped her choose. She practiced smiling in the mirror, imagining her father clapping, maybe even signing happy birthday the way her teacher at school did. But as the sun set, the house stayed quiet. A maid lit the candles anyway and stepped back, unsure what to do. Elena looked at the door one last time, then slowly blew out the candles by herself. That same evening, in the same city, a man named Daniel Parker struggled with a very different kind of silence. He was a single father to a 6-year-old son named Leo. Daniel's wife had passed away 3 years earlier, and the quiet she left behind was something he still hadn't learned how to live with. Leo had been born with partial hearing loss, and Daniel had learned sign language for him before he learned how to sleep again. Signing had become second nature, love shaped through hands and expressions. Money was always tight for Daniel. He worked 2 jobs, one as a delivery driver during the day and another cleaning offices at night. That evening, he had been hired for a one-time catering delivery to a mansion on the hill. The pay was decent, and he needed every bit of it. He dropped Leo off with a neighbor and promised he'd be back before bedtime. When Daniel arrived at the mansion, he was struck by how quiet it felt despite its size. A house this big should echo with laughter, he thought, but it felt empty. A maid guided him inside, pointing silently toward the dining hall where the delivery was needed. As Daniel walked in, he saw a small girl sitting alone at a massive table, staring at a cake with melted candles. Something about her posture stopped him in his tracks. Loneliness has a way of looking the same, no matter how rich or poor you are. Elena noticed him too. She looked up, startled, then quickly looked away, embarrassed. Strangers rarely tried to talk to her. Most adults panicked when they realized she couldn't hear. Daniel, however, did something unexpected. He smiled gently and raised his hands. He signed, "Happy Birthday." Elena's eyes widened. Her breath caught. Slowly, as if afraid she was imagining it, she signed back, "You know sign language?" Daniel nodded and signed, "My son is deaf too." I didn't want him to ever feel alone. For the first time that day, Elena smiled for real. Not the polite smile she practiced, but a wide, glowing one that reached her eyes. She signed quickly, excited, telling him it was her birthday and that no one else was there. Daniel felt something twist painfully in his chest. He knelt beside the table, careful not to cross any boundaries, and signed, "Would you like some company while I finish my job?" Elena nodded eagerly. They talked about school, about Leo, about how Elena loved drawing and how she hated when people talked around her instead of to her. Daniel listened with his full attention, responding patiently, laughing silently when she joked. For those few minutes, the mansion felt warmer. Less empty. From the doorway, Victor Hale watched everything. He had arrived home late, as usual, distracted and exhausted, ready to apologize quickly and move on. But when he saw a stranger signing fluently with his daughter, saw Elena laughing the way he rarely saw, he froze. He realized, in that moment, how much of her world he had never truly entered. Victor stepped forward, interrupting gently. Daniel stood up immediately, worried he had overstepped. But Victor didn't look angry. He looked ashamed. "My daughter is deaf," Victor said quietly. "And I never learned to speak to her the way you just did." Daniel hesitated, then signed something instead of speaking. Elena watched closely. "He says he's sorry he's late," Elena translated softly, her smile fading just a little. Victor swallowed hard. He looked at Daniel and said, "Thank you for seeing her." That night didn't end with fireworks or a huge party. But it ended with something far more important. Victor sat down beside Elena and awkwardly tried to sign. His hands were clumsy, his movements slow, but Elena helped him, giggling, correcting him gently. Daniel finished his delivery and prepared to leave, but before he did, Victor stopped him. "I'd like to pay you," Victor said, "not for the delivery. For teaching me." Daniel was surprised. "Teaching you what?" "How to talk to my daughter," Victor replied. What started as weekly lessons turned into a friendship neither of them expected. Victor learned sign language properly this time, not halfway, not later. He learned because he finally understood that love isn't measured in money, but in effort. Elena began to thrive. Her confidence grew as her father truly listened to her. She no longer felt invisible in her own home. Daniel's life changed too. Victor helped him find a better job with stable hours. Leo and Elena became close friends, bonded by shared experiences and a language that connected them instantly. Two families from completely different worlds found themselves woven together by empathy. Years later, on Elena's 18th birthday, the mansion was filled with people signing, laughing, and celebrating loudly in their own quiet way. Elena stood beside her father, confident and strong. She signed to him, "Do you remember my 12th birthday?" Victor nodded, eyes shining. "I remember the day I finally learned how to be your dad." The strongest message this story leaves behind is simple but powerful. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone isn't money, attention, or solutions, it's understanding. When we choose to truly see and hear each other, even without sound, we create connections that can change lives. If this story touched your heart, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. You never know whose life might be changed by a story you chose to watch till the end.